there, guys! Today I am going to help another subscriber that asked me to look at his game. People really seem to like the first coaching session on YouTube and on Reddit, so I think it's pretty safe for me to do another one, so here we go. So I am here on his OPGG. This player is Silver 2, and I assume that he is asking for help to get to gold, or to at least climb a little bit more. And he wants me to look at this Sona game. So I already looked at your OPGG, and let's start with your ability order. This is pretty standard, this is good, this is what you do on Sona. You Q, then you W, then you E, ult at 6. And yeah, 6, 11, and 16. That's nice. You go Spell Thieves, Frost Fang. That's pretty standard. Your runes are pretty standard on Sona. And one thing that I noticed when you play Sona is that you do very different runes on her every time. It's like you're experimenting with stuff. That's good. Like, for example, you go Kleptomancy here, you went Aerie in that game, you went Dark Harvest here. That's pretty good. All those runes work on Sona, but it's this game that we're looking at. So you went Aerie, Mana Flow Band, and Transcendence and Gathering Storm, but honestly on Sona I really like Celerity because of her movement speed bonus. And it works really well on her because you're constantly pressing your E, and I like Scorch more because it gives me more damage in lane. This doesn't work as well in my opinion, but this is still good. These are still good. But instead of Transcendence, I would really recommend Celerity or Scorch. No, or Absolute Focus, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is good in general, but I would go for either of these instead of this one. I think these are better on Sona. And this is pretty standard. Personally, I don't take the boots because I like to rush mobility on every support, and this delays the mobility boots, but this is acceptable. Biscuits and magical footwear, this is good. Another thing that you can take on Sona is Cosmic Insight, which is really great. Gives you CDR and stuff. It's good. This is acceptable. And right here, I don't like this because Sona already gets so much CDR from her items in general that she doesn't really need this. I'd rather take Adaptive Force, but yeah, I don't really like this. It's acceptable, but I prefer more damage, more EP, and this is acceptable. The health is good anyway. Now your build. Honestly, I don't like this. I really don't like Dark Seal and Meijais on Sona, simply because she is very squishy, very easy to kill. She has a relatively hard time keeping the stacks, that's why I don't do it on her. Like champions like Sona, Soraka, Nami that are very easy to jump on and just pop, I don't like to build that item on them. Janna is different. That is very good on Janna because it gives her movement speed and gives her AP, and she is very hard to catch, very fast. If they try to jump on her, she's gonna ult them away and Q them. That is why it's a good item on Janna. She has a relatively easy time keeping the stacks. Yeah. And also, an item that I see that you're missing, and I already looked at other games, you don't really do Athenes, and I think that the build that you do is pretty good. You just go for the Glass Cannon Sona build. You rush Sorceress, then you go for Leech Bane and Rabadons. That's standard, that's good. It's a good Sona build. But really, Athenes is a great item on Sona. It gives you AP, it gives you cooldown reduction, gives you magic resist. It gives you mana regen. It's really, really great. You should really try it. Instead of just rushing Leechbane, I would recommend rushing Athenes, and then you can go for Leechbane, for Rabadons, for whatever you want. Zonias is also good, but really, Meijais, I don't recommend it. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up on your OPGG. Also, I see that you take Ignite, you take Flash, that's standard, that's good. And you have a pretty good win rate on Sona right now. I wouldn't be too worried. I think you're on the right path to Sona. I just gave you some advice on some general stuff. But now let's look at your gameplay. I already took notes. I already looked at your game. I took some notes right here, and I am going to go over them one by one. Alright? So here we go. Let's look at it. So, the first thing that I noticed was that you don't prepare the passive level 1. A good thing that Sonas do, like that experienced Sonas do, is they get Q in base, and then they Q once in base, then they Q again when they are leashing for the jungler, and then when they get to lane, they have their passive ready, and but the enemies don't know that she has her passive about to be ready, and they get surprise attacked, and she deals so much damage with her passive ready.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, what I recommend on Sona is Q once in base, then Q again when you are leashing, and when you get to lane, you're going to Q again, and when you Q to poke, you're going to have your passive ready, and you're going to deal so much damage, seemingly out of nowhere. Like, when I am against a Sona, I click her to check if she is, this is too loud. I check to see if she has two passes if she has 2 stacks of the passive ready, and that is how I know if someone is a new Sona or an autofill Sona, or if it's someone who is experienced with the champion. So yeah, you're going to trade, right? Like, see, if you had your Q, your passive ready right here, you would chunk Soraka so much right there. Also, another thing that I saw in your laning phase is that you are kind of a little bit behind Jhin. Like, Jhin is over here and you're a lot behind him, like right here, no. Like, this is good. Like, beside him. Do you see really carry? You have to make a line and you have to be like, this is good, but sometimes you go a bit far back. I like that you waited for Jax to actually get you to flash. You didn't panic flash. Because if you just panic flashed, Jax would still have his jump up and he would just jump on you. That was a very good job. You used your flash correctly. Didn't panic. That's very nice. That was pretty good. I liked that you got the damage on Soraka, then Jhin rooted her and you immediately ignited. That was very good. Good job. Now right here you zone Kai'Sa, exactly. That is very good. If she's alone in lane, and you know right now that the jungler is topside, you're free to to go on her and start pressuring her away from the minions. That is very good. And now what you have to do is just push this. You really have to push this wave. You have to help Jhin push. No, you are standing. No, you need to attack this like Kai'Sa. She had to back right there because she was too low. And you just went to war right here. No. You should really be attacking these minions. You should really be helping him push them, or at least if this lane is it's kind of pushing towards them, that is not good. This was in a very bad positioning. Like, do you see how many minions there are in your side? The more minions there are, the faster it's going to push, which means that this is going to push to their turrets. And when this wave arrives, which is going to be very soon, the minions are going to crash here, and that is going to save them for the Kai'Sa. What you should do is just push this, auto attack, Q the minions, help your Jhin push so they die to the turret, and then you back with him, instead of wasting all this time going toward this, which is unnecessary. You should really just start auto attacking the minions as fast as you can, push this under the turret and recall with your Jhin. Also, you are standing right here, like what? You should not stand here or here, you should stand over here. Why? Because you are here already when you're shopping. Like, the moment you respawn here, you just get here. You already covered this distance, and that means that you're going to have to walk less to get to lane, and that is going to save you time, and that's very good. Also, another thing, that you have your E and you're not using it. You should really use your E when you're going back to lane as Sona. It saves you time. Like, it's very, very, very important to save time in this game. 1 second can make the difference between someone dying or not. And honestly, that ward is not very good, especially when you were so low. Like, you knew that Jax was topside, so it's okay to actually go here. You knew they were dead. You knew that Jax was top. You knew that Fizz was mid. So going this way is not a bad idea, because no one can really stop you. But you had to help your AD carry push, and you didn't need to put the ward here. You could, when you walked back from lane, from the base, you could just go through the jungle and place the ward over here in the Baron pit. That is a thing that the blue side had an advantage over the red side. The red side has to come here, and they are susceptible to being attacked by the jungler or the mid laner, and it's more dangerous for the red side to ward, but the blue side can just come here and ward over the wall. You should get really used to warding stuff over the wall, because it just makes the support life much easier and much safer. You have to be careful. They have lots of minions here. When they have more minions than you do, it's not a good time to... It's not a good time to trade when they have more minions than you. You should wait for the minions to crash like this, and then you trade. Or at least you should wait to have more minions than them, and then you trade with them. That's decent, that's decent. Focusing the Soraka, I like it. Not bad, not bad. But you should not be pushing this far, like you have no vision. Like, you legit have no vision here. You shouldn't push this far without vision. Like, this is very bad. You should really be careful, because you don't know where Jax is right now, do you? And he's exactly here, and you don't know it. This is very bad. Like, it's good that you use your movement speed to get away from Jax, but it's bad to push so far. It's bad to push past this point right here without vision. Damn, that damage. But yeah, when you don't have vision here, it's bad to go past this point, because if you are here, it's going to be a lot harder for you to run away. Also, that board is it's a fine ward to be like, it's an okay ward, but I wouldn't put it in the middle of the bush. I would put it right here at the edge. Why? Because right here it gives you vision until here, but if you put it at the edge of the bush right here, it's going to give you more vision. It's going to give you vision like until here. And if you see Fizz here, it's always better than to see him coming right here, right? So yeah, you should really optimize the ward positioning in the bushes to give you advantages or more vision. Like for example, when you put a ward here, it's actually a good idea to put it right here, like on the side. Why? Because if the enemy support tries to clear them, they are going to have to walk closer to this side, and that is going to make them be more susceptible to your jungler jumping on them. Like, it's different if they are standing right here to clear or if they're standing right here. Like here they are in more danger than if they are over here. Do you know what I mean? It's like a trap. If you put it right here, they're going to be in more danger to clear it. It's better than to put it like in this corner. So yeah, you should really look at how to ward and ward positioning in bushes. There are many guides by pro players and high elo players out there. You should really check that. Just getting bladings. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Right. So right here, when you are dewarding, when you have the sweeper, when you find a red ward or a vision ward, you should leave it and go scout for other wards with your sweepers. Why is that? Because pink wards, red wards or vision wards can be spotted without your sweeper. So while you found this one, like while you were clearing this one, you could have found another one right here and you could have cleared it, like another normal ward, and then you could have gone back here and gotten this red one. Like, see what I mean? That's a good thing to keep in mind. It maximizes your income and your efficiency. Like, Fizz is coming right now. Right, he missed his ult. That was a very good ult. Like, damn. A 3-man ult, that was so good. Right. You slow the Kai'Sa, that is very good. I see that you know how to use your passive. You know when to give more damage with the Q passive, you know when to slow the enemies with the E passive, you know how to reduce the damage with the W passive. I think that you're really good with Sona's passive right now. This is kind of ambitious right here. I would wait for Jin to walk up and then... it's worth because you killed Soraka and you died, but you have to be more careful. You should stay closer to your AD carry when dealing damage because they were like... let me see. Like, they were both... Like, look. They are both very close to you. See? They are both very close to you and they are both focusing you. If Jin was here, if you just wait a little bit for Jin and he was here, you would be dealing damage to them as well. And you wouldn't have to die, probably. But honestly, trading your life for Soraka here, it's still pretty acceptable, but yeah, you should really be more careful with your positioning in relation to your AD carry. You should always be closer to him when dealing damage, and be a bit more patient when fighting, alright? Right, you should be walking over here to save time. You should use your E. Like, you use your E right here. Like, this is decent. Yeah, decent. But if I were you, you don't... Okay, you have a red ward, don't you? I guess this ward is alright. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this ward. So Pantheon is... that was overkill. That was way too overkill. Like, do you really think you needed to flash and ult there? Like, you have to use your summoner spells and your abilities very carefully. Because if a fight erupts all of a sudden, like in a minute, you would need your ult to win it. And this was just overkill. You really need to manage your spells and your abilities better, because that was really overkill. Like, I understand your idea of flashing on Kaisa here, but she was pretty much dead. Like, this was complete overkill. You didn't need to ult. Even if you wanted to kill her, you could have just flashed and queued, but that was really overkill. You really don't need to do that. Be more careful when managing your abilities. Oh, and no. That... you were way too far forward there. I think you really need to better your positioning. You were way too far forward. You were in the Fizz's face. Like, just look at you. Pantheon is right here. You don't know where anyone is except for Teemo and Soraka, and you are just in this face. You are legit in this face. That is bad positioning. You should be with Pantheon, not a mile ahead of him, especially against the Fizz. You don't know if he has his ult up or not. At least you're not sure. And you don't have flash because you just used it, so be very careful. Like, sure, Kaisa was dead, but you don't know where Jax is. Imagine that Jax was right here or something, and you were with Fizz and Fizz ulted you and Jax jumped on you and you just died. You had no flash, you had no ult, you had nothing, you would just die, and that would be very bad for your team. That is very use of your W. That's very good use of your W. Like, really, you know, like in general, you know how to use your abilities. You use your W to heal and mitigate the damage. You know how to use the shield from the W. You know, like, how to use the passive. I think your knowledge of Sona's abilities and passive is good in general. You just need to maybe learn, like, how to use it in different situations and better the execution, because the basics are there. And right here, you are getting in their face again. You can't do this. You had to stay right here behind them. Like, you had no mana, you were in their face again. You can't do that, dude. You really need to better your positioning. You get in their face way too much. You are Eing. That was unfortunate. You tried to save him with your heal. Oh well, that was a good effort. And again, oh my god. Your positioning, you have to stop that. You were in their face. Like, let me put this in slow motion. You know that there are 3 guys here. You know that Jax is here, Fizz is right here, you know that Teemo is coming, And the first thing you do is get over here and face check this bush and put yourself in front of all of them. Like this, you put yourself right here when Jin is here. Like that is so bad. You have to stay right here behind Jin. In this situation, you have to stay near your AD carry, not put yourself in front of the enemies. Like that is so bad, but so bad. And you have your wards too. Like this is so bad. Also, you only got one person when you ulted. Imagine that you were right here with Jin. Like, look at the positioning I'm telling you. Look at that. Like, look, you were here. Imagine that you were here with Jin. The guys were all here. Like, they could have just jumped on you right here instead of jumping on Jin, and you would have died immediately. And that is very, very bad. And then they would have just killed Jin anyway because they have too much damage. This is terrible positioning, terrible. Like, if you wanted vision on this bush, you had to come over here and then place a ward over the wall. You really need to place more wards over the wall. That is very good habit and you're not doing it. Like, imagine that you were here with Jin. You would get all of them in your ult. You would get a 3-man ult right here. That would be so good. It's all about positioning and about the execution. Like, you really need to think ahead of things. Because imagine that they just focused you here. Like, you don't have vision of this bush. You put yourself right in front of them. You had 3 people here that could focus you. That is very bad, dude. Very bad. Yeah, no. You should really stay here and ult them all. Okay. Well, that's alright. Very bad executed, it worked, but just because things work in League, it doesn't mean they were very well executed. Like, one thing that Dopa says is that people sometimes fall in the mistake of thinking that just because something worked, it's well done. No, sometimes things work because there is some luck involved. But just because something worked, it doesn't mean it was well done. You have to think, like, in every possibility. For example, here, they could have focused you, they could have killed you immediately. Jax could have stunned you, Fuse would have jumped on you, they have Teemo. They could have blown you up, they could have blown Jin up. And then Kha'Zix could have died as well. Imagine 3 of you could have died right here. They could simply kill this minion wave and take this turret, and you would start losing things. It's because of mistakes, small mistakes like this, that games start to get thrown, you know? This is what throws games, it's small mistakes on small fights like this one, so you have to pay very much attention to small things like positioning, ability usage, and stuff like that. This warding, that's alright, I guess. I would seriously just come over here with Kha'Zix, maybe, and just at least place a ward here to have vision, because this means they're gonna die and you're going to not have vision of this anymore. A ward right here would be very good next to Nexus, and maybe in their base as well. Like over the wall right here. Like, start warding over the wall. And why in this area right here? Like, honestly, I don't think you should be warding in this place at all. You should maybe put a ward here to get vision anyway. And then you should maybe get wards on this side of the jungle. Excuse me, because Darius and Pantheon are going to take this turret and they want security to take it, right? And if you warded right here instead of just warding here, they would be safer right now because they would see people coming. Like, for example, they warded here, they warded here. Your team is warding better than you. Like, for example, how do you know which are the better spots to ward? You simply have to look at the scoreboard and at the state of the game and see which objective is going to spawn soon. imagine that you are very ahead and the enemy red buff is going to spawn. You can come here like a minute earlier and ward it, and then your team can do something like I'll wait here and then catch the jungler. Like, see, you warded in advance, it helped your team. The Baron is about to spawn. There's a minute left for Baron to spawn. You come here and you ward it. There is a minute for Dragon. You come here and you ward Dragon. This turret is very low and someone is going to try to take it. If someone's going to try to take it, you should at least come to Baron, like right here for example, and get the ward over here. If it's too dangerous to come into the jungle, come to Baron and place a ward over here, for example. Like that is how you ward basically. You just have to look at where wards are needed to give your team information and safety. That's legit what warding is about. And now you are going top. That's good, that's good. You see they are all there. Kazakhs can kill them. Good, good. Good, that was very good. That was a very good call. And just came top with them. That's good. Again, very good use of the W to mitigate the damage. Nice. And then you're gonna get that turret. Honestly, what Kazakhs wants to do here is a bit risky because they might all come and they might die. Yeah, like see. Like I think it was the right call to back off there. Like right now I think they're gonna die. No, they didn't, but they could. If they all responded instead of just two, they could all just die. That was a very good ult, in my opinion. You just saw him, you saw that Kazakhs was behind you, ready to respond to your engage. And you ulted. Also, you knew that Fizz didn't have ult because he just used it. That was very good. Also, again, you were clearing this ward with a sweeper ticking. Just look for other wards and then take the red one. Kazakhs is overcommitting there. Just peeling for Jhin, that's nice. And also you have lots of vision over here, so it's fine. Like honestly, I think it's fine for you guys to be out here. I think it's alright, because there's lots of vision right here. It's true that you don't have vision here and it's kind of dangerous, but you have the river. You shouldn't push too hard when it's just the two of you, but I think it's kind of okay because you have lots of vision on this side and you know that Timo is there. So yeah, that's good. Okay, you saw Jax over there. Jax was right here. This is bad. Like Pantheon is not with you. Jhin, it's just you and Jhin. This is bad. This is another kind of thing that throws games. You start getting caught 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, and then imagine that they just started killing the other people on your team, and then they just somehow got Baron. That would be so bad. Like, it's just small scenarios that can happen. And these guys are just taking Baron. Alright. They should have checked for wards. Like honestly, this is your job. You should have just come here already instead of just being here doing stuff. Like since your team wasn't grouping over here, what they should really do is just come to the Baron and just place a pink ward right here. Another thing that I want to say, you aren't getting enough pink wards. You should be getting at least 2 pink wards. You should be getting 2 pink wards every time you pack. At least 1. And then just place them whenever it's needed. For example, imagine that instead of just walking over here and dying, you actually went to Baron and you placed a pink ward right here, a red ward. Then your team would be so much safer when they were doing Baron, because they would know that there is no vision here, and the enemy team can't really contest it because they don't know what's going on here. Like, that would be much more useful. That's how you become more useful, through better decision making, knowing where to ward and how and why. This is kinda dangerous again because your team is over there. You guys should be grouping a bit more, in my opinion, but like it's okay. He's very fed. I understand why you are with him, because he's the most fed person on your team. That is very good to do. You are just sticking to the most fed person on your team, which is very good habit. That's legit what you have to do as a support. A support isn't the AD carry's babysitter. He is the helper of the person or the people that are the most fed on the team. If your AD carry is 115, what you should do is stick to the Camille and for example the Kazakhs. Imagine there's a Camille that is very fed and the Kazakhs is very fed. You just stick to them. You don't stick to the 115 AD carry. Like, what is he gonna do? You have to stick to the people that are going to deal damage. Very good ult, very good ult. Like, you were in their face right here, but that is okay, because you have your team to back you up. Like, and you have flash, even if they try to jump on you or something, you have your team to deal damage to them. They're probably not going to be able to kill you. You have the flash to run away, and you had to get in position for your ult. That is good. That example of a good ult and good positioning for your ult, and well executed, and something well executed. And now you guys just take the Nexus. Yeah. Alright. That's nice. Not bad, not bad. You're doing most things. I think you're doing many things correctly. But there are certainly some things I think I really need to improve on. So I already have all these things. No, like, I just put everything here. And so let's recap. Get your passive ready, level 1. You Q once in base, Q when leashing for the jungler, and then you have your surprise passive in lane, and you're going to deal a lot of damage. Level 1. You have to give more presence in lane. You are standing a bit behind your AD carry. You need to sit beside them. You're not a Leona. You're not going to sit in front of them, but at least beside them. You were a bit too behind them. You were a bit far away behind. Then you have to help your AD carry push, and then you back. That thing where you went to ward and then you just back without helping him, that was very bad. And yeah, that's bad. When you don't push, the minions are going to stack up in front of the enemy turret. They are going to get all the minions and all the experience instead of losing them to the tower. Yeah, don't do that. And you could have just warded that dragon without having to go into the river. You could have just warded over the wall since you were on the blue side. You really need to get used to warding over walls. You have to stand near the edge of the fountain when you are buying. It saves you time. When you are in base, always get your passive ready. Oh yeah, this is a thing I forgot to say in game, but whenever you are in base, you should get your passive ready. That is very good for Sona. You don't just get your passive ready level 1, you get your passive ready whenever you are in base. Then you You can just spam E to get the lane faster. It's an ability that doesn't cost that much mana. You can spam it 2 or 3 times when going back to lane, when warding, when roaming. It just helps you get around the map very easily. Don't straight when the enemy has more minions than you. Ward up before pushing. I saw that you were doing this mistake of not warding and before pushing, and then the Jax was just ganking you, and you were lucky to have escaped that. When clearing wards, leave the red ones for later. They can be revealed without the sweeper, just to look for other normal wards that you can clear, and then go back to the red one. Measure your aggressiveness and watch out for your positioning, even when you are ahead. I see that you are being a bit aggressive with Sona's positioning. You need to stay more in the back, because Sona is very easy to kill. It's very easy to focus, and with the position that you're having, you are just putting yourself in front of your team like you're Leona. You're not Leona, you're not Nautilus, you're Sona. You have to stay back with your carries and not put yourself so much in the front. And even when you are ahead, you have to think, even I'm ahead, but it doesn't mean that I can just put myself in front of the team when I want to engage. It's pretty dangerous. Like, the only situation in which I would put myself in front of my team to ult the Sona is if I see a very, very good opportunity to get my ult off. So I would just flash in front of the enemies, I would ult them all, and then I would try to back off as fast as I could. But it's still kinda risky. I don't recommend Meijais on Sona because she dies quickly and can keep the stacks as easily as someone like Janna, who is hard to catch. Think well about your summoner spells and ability usage. Like, for example, when you flashed ulted on Kai'Sa, that was overkill. Just be more careful with your flash and your ult. Those are very important things, and you just wasted them all for legit no reason. Like, Kai'Sa was dead, there was no need for you to do that. Be more careful, and think more about the consequences of you using your ult and your flash like that. In 2 minutes there might be a fight and you might need them, and then you don't have them up. Yeah, just think well about the damage you deal, about how much you shield, how much you heal, and think well about how, like, if you really need to flash, if you really need to ult there, if you just need to Q. Yeah, think about that. Again, position safely in fights, stay near the back. Never face check. I see that you face check a lot. Don't face check. It's a terrible habit. I already threw games because I face checked stuff and I learned the hard way. Don't do that, it's terrible. Buy more red wards like I told you. And watch guys on how and where to ward. I think that your ward is a little bit off. Your warding is a little bit off. Like, warding is all about keeping your team safe and giving them information. All you have to do to ward effectively is look at the timers, see which objective is about to spawn, whether it's red buff, whether it's the enemy red buff, whether it's your red buff, whether it's dragon, whether it's baron, and you have to come like at least a minute earlier and ward around that objective. If they want to take the bot turret, you should try to get wards around that area. If they want to take dragon, ward around that area. If they want to take baron, ward around the baron area. That's legit how you do it. That's how you ward. Another thing that I was going to tell you is for you to try the tier build, but I already saw that you already tried that. You do it sometimes you don't. Because tier is a great item on Sona, it gives you so much mana, and she really needs it. She really needs to spam that mana for her abilities. So I would really recommend you getting a tier every game. This is something I always take on Sona. You don't always have to upgrade it to Seraph's Embrace, but it's always good to have the tier. I would just get the tier as early as possible. and then try to get the themes, and then you can just do whatever you're doing because your builds are solid. They seem pretty good to me. Just don't buy Meijais. Don't recommend it. And yeah, I think your runes in general are alright. I think that you're on the right path, dude. You just need to maybe look at these things that I advise you to get better at. And yeah, this was it. I hope that you like this coaching session. I hope that I helped you in some way, and I hope that the people that watched this also learned something. And I am sorry if I don't spot every single mistake. I am just trying not to bore everyone with every single thing that I see that is wrong, because that can also be annoying in my opinion. I'm not trying to make this session to be 2 hours long. But I am trying my best, and I am pointing out the things that I think are the most flawed. And also, I don't see every mistake because I am not great at this game. There are mistakes I make that I'm not aware of. There are mistakes other people make that I'm not aware of. I am not challenger. I don't see everything. I don't know everything. And yeah, I am trying my best. But thank you for the constructive criticism on Reddit. That I appreciated that. About me not seeing every single mistake and getting better at this in general. I am trying to get better at this. Anyway, I hope you guys liked it, and see you next time. Bye bye.
When you say it like that, got me falling.